Okay, so I've decided I need to optimize this further. Specifically, this section here, because it's too big. It's too big, and I don't like it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this radius to something like 130. Right? Hang on. What is 110 times the square root of 2? That is twice as much surface area. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. No. I'm going to change this offset to 0.5. Okay. So that just shrunk this by quite a bit. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this and this and this. And I'm actually going to make this collinear with this. Alright? And that just shrunk this whole thing by a little bit. Because I really only need... I don't need, right, both ends around this tab. I just need the tab to exist. And then, let's see, that's 1.5. Let's change the straight edge width to 1. Alright, there. And then change the, ooh, that's already 2. Change the, tab edge distance. Change that to 1.5. And what that will do is, I believe I defined a bunch of these by their angles. And so, or no, yeah, I defined these by distances instead of angles, which means that by moving this further up, everything else moves further up. And so this distance is a smaller angle. Alright. So now if I were to take the difference here, right, so from here to here now, that's 2.2 degrees. So now if I make an arc from here to 2.2 times 6 is just that. And that is probably good enough. Right? Let me hold up my actual one. Yeah, that's... Hang on. Whoops, I forgot to... Let me hold up my... I'm holding up my actual one to the screen now. And it's... not bad. It's not bad. I can probably change this. Okay. Now, however, this is going to be 25, right? This is 25 degrees. 139 divided by 25, so I'll call it 40, is, how many segments will I need here? .6. So if I have 6 segments, it'll go just past 180 degrees. And actually, hang on. If I divide it by 6, right? What was it? Okay. Let me do this again. It was, so I've got 2.2 degrees, right? 2.2 degrees times 6, 5 actually. It's 2.2 times 5. Yeah. And then, hang on. Okay. Because it's this whole thing, right? I want 6 segments, right? So I want this whole thing plus this much, which is going to be 11 degrees, right? Plus 6 times this is 180. So the calculation is 2.2 degrees. Whoops, hang on. 2.2 degrees plus my unknown thing plus 11 plus 5 times my unknown thing is 180. Hang on a second. I'm gonna pause real quick and visualize this out. Okay, so I do not know if I've done this right, but if I have done the math right, then let me hit Control Z on all this real quick. Okay, this should be 25.14 degrees. So I'll just round that up to 25.2, and then I'm gonna go ahead and aha. Hang on a second. There is an arc here that shouldn't be in the shape that it's at. Well, is it gonna... Okay. Okay, so then this should... I don't know what happened there. Okay, so this should be here, and this should be here. Alright. So I got the math ever so slightly wrong. .8, so that's a 0.2 on those 0.6s, right? 1.8. So I've got 2. And then I've got, oops, .11. So I rounded it to enough to like actually make it not matter, which all of that, and I still don't know if I actually visualized it correctly to know if I've got the right number. I did a whole thing where I wrote down this plus this plus this plus this plus this, and it all depends on this, and I have to figure out what this is, And yeah. Although I think this will... Oh, cool. I do believe this will work better. It is longer, though. But... I am going to rename this to new fan segment because I actually want to compare it to the other one in the slicer. This is thinner. I might want to make that bigger. And you know what, while I'm at it, yeah. Except that just doesn't look nice. It's got this big old thing, big old honkin'. Whatever. Actually, let me make that to a 2.5. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is 0.5 because I believe my printer can get away with 0.5 clearance here. This hasn't changed because this doesn't really need to change. So then, I guess I'll go ahead and save this then. How many triangles does it have? Only 436. Alright, I'll get it sliced and I'll get it printed and I'll see how well it works. Okay, so I still had this open from the previous iteration, so that's pretty cool. Let me open the new fan segment, and it's bigger, but it's a lot less wide. I'm trying to change this. I'm trying to compare the angles here. Yeah, it's gonna be. That's a lot of. That's actually a lot taken off here, right? Because I should have been able to. That should have been able to also squeeze that out of this as well. Yeah. However, the end is still bigger than this end because, you know, that's just how things work. And now this is going to take over an hour to print these two. Hooey. You know, now that I think about it, I don't think I necessarily need this bit at all. I just hope that this works and stays intact. I'm kind of worried about it bending when I pull it off the print bed. I'm also worried about it, like, oh, look at this, hang on. Is that what I think it is? One, two. Okay, so it has one line of infill inside of it. I wonder if this is going to take a while. I wonder if I can see there. One layer will be different. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that yet. I could totally do that whenever I want, but I don't know what I want to put there, so. I guess I'll just go ahead and get this printed then. File saved. This is going to take a while. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and get it printed. Okay, so I got the new iteration printed. And to compare it with the old one, I have it on the same... I have them on the same, what's it called? The same axle, whatever. And then if I look at this, I lined them up, and on the back, right? This one is a lot skinnier than this one, even though it does come out farther over here because it's longer. But yeah, it works pretty well, except that down here in the middle it's too thin. But this is blowing a lot more air, a lot better than this was. So yeah, I like the size of it a lot better. But it's too thin here, so I think what I need to do is make this a little thicker coming in. So I think that's all I really need to do. And then I'll go ahead and... I mean, that's all I'm going to do on the next iteration, because this works phenomenally well. This is pretty good. This is already blowing enough air to, like, cool me off. Like, I could just use this and it's fine. But it's really thin here, so I'm gonna add a little thicker part here. So that's all I really need to do.